Hey folks, it is Friday, so we're going to do a little demo here. I want to do something that I saw the other day. I want to do a little tip on these spray cans, and this is the Marsh ink, but the same, I don't think the same thing applies to the primer because it's a different system and you don't actually turn those upside down to clear them. But when you've got a spray tip like this, a nozzle, I wanted to show you something that I kind of learned over the years because I've been using these since I was 10 years old. So what I saw the other day was somebody was actually trying to spray some layout, and when they were spraying it, because the can was getting low, and you can hear this. Hear that sound? That's an empty can, or really close to empty. It'll be done within a couple sprays. But as this liquid goes down, what happens is as you turn it, the liquid all goes here, and sometimes that hose or that tube, let's turn it this way. So let's assume there's only this much in here. As you turn this and try to do your layout, that liquid all comes down here, and sometimes that tube that's hooked to that nozzle is here, and it doesn't pick up the liquid because there's not enough of it to pick up. So what you have to do is you have to turn it back up and get the spray going again, and then you've got about 3 or 4 seconds in this stinking fly. You see him?
Right in the face.
And then you can spray a little bit and then turn it up and spray again and spray. I don't think I'm going to be able to make that work, but let me try. So we've got, let's assume we're laying out a sign, and I'm going to see how it kind of, now it is, are you down on there, babe?
Yep.
See how it kind of now is really faint? Well, that's because the only liquid left in here, the only liquid is down here. So what I do is I turn it up, I get it flowing again, and then, of course, this one's almost empty, so this is not really a good description. I think I've got only that before, but just remember, if you get to the point where you're spraying like this and it doesn't work, try two things. Either turn this nozzle, which will in turn kind of turn that tube in case that tube is got kind of a bend to it. It'll do that, or just pull it up and then get it going again and then spray, and it'll give you a few seconds. That'll allow you to use all of the ink or the paint, if you've got this kind of can, in that can. Anyway, I wanted to show that. So, done with that. Now, we are going to address what I did on, gosh, was it last Monday's video? I think it was Monday's video where I did that flat background on that demo, and I looked for that board, but I don't know what the heck I did with that board. I burned it in the fireplace or something. But anyway, so what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of a demo showing, because I got questions. I got one question, and then it kind of snowballed, and I got a question on, we were going to do this a separate scene, but evidently we're not. I'm just rolling here. So I got a question on, somebody asked, why didn't you finish up that M? And I went back and looked at the video, and I thought I had finished up the M. But what he was talking about was these points. Let me point to it here. He was talking about these points in here. When I came around, and this was uh-oh, here comes the land shark. Magnum decided to grace us with his presence. Anyway, I came around here, and I didn't go all the way up in here, and it was because my router bit that I was using was really, it was a profile bit, but it was ground down a lot, so it cut a really fat line. So I couldn't go very far up in here, and I didn't realize until somebody else actually pointed it out. I didn't realize that that's what he was talking about. I thought, because I had already done the profiling, if you go back and watch, I think it was Monday's video, I had already done the profiling. Hi, Mag. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Say hi. I had already done the profiling, and so I was thinking about the flat background, that he was talking about the flat background, but he was talking up in those points. So let me show you. Now, and this is something that I want to show you, babe. I know we didn't talk about this, but I need you to come up on here, and I want to show something with these layout letters. So here is an 1.5 M. That's an 1.5 M. This is the letter that I used to lay that out. If I put that over there, you can see that it doesn't come clear up on that M. It didn't come clear up into those points. It only went as far as my profile bit would allow me to go without cutting into the sign. And honestly, that should actually be the same amount, but that was my mistake when I made it. But and so then I think I was even looking at one. Oh no, there's another M over here. Same thing. So see how those grooves don't come all the way up into those points. Well, that's because as soon as it starts hitting on both sides of this leg, that's when I stop and I come down and do the rest of it. Well, and that works. So because I've done it for so long and I've carved so many of those, I didn't even think about that when that person, whoever it was, commented, well, are you going to finish up that M or are you going to leave it the way it is? And I didn't even know what he was talking about. And then you guys kind of straightened me out and said, Eric, I think he's talking about that. Okay, so that was a long way around. So I have got my router set up and I have two profile bits. I've got one that's been ground down, it's kind of fat, and I've got one that is thin. Oh, that way? Oh, okay. So this one is, I think that's the thinner version. Yeah, this is the thinner version. This has only been ground a few times. This one's probably been ground a dozen times. It cuts a much fatter line. I'm gonna actually do that right now. I'm gonna show you how one of them. Gosh, I was gonna do this ahead of time too. Anyway, one at the same depth, one of them will cut fatter than the other one. So let's just set it at, say, 1/8 of an inch, just so everything is equal. Man, I'm really messing you up, aren't I, babe? I'm sorry.
I'm down on the board right now.
All right, I'm setting this at 1/8 of an inch. Or thereabouts. Yep, that's 1/8 of an inch. So, I'm going to cut both of these at 1/8 of an inch, and we're going to see if one cuts fatter than the other. My hunch is it will. All right, there we go.
What you doing with your quiet time?
So what I did was I used my router bit depth gauge and I set both of these at 1/8 of an inch. So now we're going to cut a line with them over here and we're going to see which one cuts fatter. I should have set it a little deeper. It would have been, I think, more dramatic, but. Now, and it would have been more dramatic, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can tell by naked eye that this one is definitely thinner than this one. And as I go down deeper, it's even more apparent that one cuts deep or cuts a wider line than the other one. So that being said, if I'm going to cut I'm going to cut both of these outset. If I'm going to cut this outset, I'm going to use the narrower one, which is the one I've got in my hand right now. I'm going to use that one to cut the 1-inch outset. And I probably will set it a little bit deeper than it is right now, but I got to take a look and see. Oops, got to turn it around. So let's cut this. So you can see that I didn't go up in there. I just went up in there as far as my bit would allow me to go. Let me get a pointer here. So you can see I left quite a bit there and I left a little bit there. But the looks of the letter really isn't changed. Now, let's say I wanted to go up in there further. I can certainly do that, but that's where I would have to lift my router in order to get a sharp point. So I can certainly do it. I just find it's not really necessary, to be honest with you. Now, if that's the look that you want, you can absolutely do it. Now, would I use this same bit over here on this one? I certainly could, but I probably will use my fatter bit. In fact, I will use my fatter bit. And I need a little bit more cord here. I'm all over the place today. I'm going to use my fatter bit, and I'm going to make it a little bit deeper. So that's the way I would normally do it. And if I wanted to, again, make those sharper points, I would just do it this way. I'll just leave that one the way it is. So you can see the difference. Now, does that look a little bit better? There could be an argument that could be made that maybe that does look a little bit better, and maybe that's what you want to do. Now, obviously, this is a Clarendon style letter, so the style of letters that you're cutting may not have those real sharp points in there. It just depends on what you like the looks of, and honestly, I've done it most of the time. I will do it this way simply because in most cases, I am carving for speed, or at least that's the way I was trained. I was trained, remember guys, I come from a situation where I was carving for speed because I was carving on site at horse shows and fairs and craft fairs and up in Oatman, and I really didn't have all the extra time to make those points. So I got so used to doing it a certain way that I had to get these signs done. They still look good, as do these. They look fine, but they just don't have those sharp inside points. You certainly do it, and that's the whole idea behind using a V-groove bit rather than a straight bit. With a straight bit, you can't get sharp inside points like that. You can't be done. Not that I know anyway. Maybe there is, but that's the reason we like the V-groove, because the deeper that you go, the wider line, or the shallower you go, the narrower the line. Anyway, I'm kind of hoping that kind of clears it up, guys. If I missed something, let me know. and I'd be happy to go over it again. But that's kind of why I do what I do. Now on this small little M, and I know Vicky's up here, but on this small M, I wouldn't leave it like that. I would go deeper. What? You pointed that way like you wanted me to move it. So can you focus in on that, you guys?
Stop it.
Anyway,
You
on
just
this,
had me all messed up. You went totally off script.
I know. That's what I do. God, I still got it. I can frustrate you.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so I would go deeper. I would go around that deeper yet. I wouldn't leave it at just that because it's so narrow that, remember, you're going to sand. When you spray in sand, you're going to lose a little bit of your width of your line. So I would go around that deeper, probably, 3/16 or something like that. This one's probably plenty deep enough. Anyway, now that I've totally confused you and frustrated my wife, my work is done. All right. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm having fun, whether you do or not. I'm having a good time.
Last long.
Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to click that little bell icon so you get notified. So I'm hoping Monday, brand new collaboration. I'm really excited about this one, so I'm hoping we'll be able to start that on Monday. If you guys have questions, again, I'm on email me. I got three thoughts going at one time. Email me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. Please don't send me messages through Facebook. I miss so many of those, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm blowing you off or not answering, because I want to answer everybody. So always email me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. I'm on Instagram, makeawoodsign, having a blast there. We've got so many exciting things coming up, and I'm chomping at the bit to tell you about them, but I got to hold off a little bit longer. Anyway, guys, I just got sawdust in my eye.
You're right.
Yeah, God was paying me back. Okay, guys, have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.